Okay, now we're going to keep going, talk about functions, and now we're not going to use a graph to evaluate a function. We're actually going to use an equation that they give us. So basically, we're going to be given a value of the input. There it is, f of 3. We're going to go look at our equation. In this case, well, they don't even give us an equation here, but if we had an equation, we would replace all the x's with 3 and would solve for y. And then we would write an ordered pair for our input and our output. She wrote this on here, and I agree. F of 3 is not multiplication. You know, generally speaking, as a matter of fact, always, when we have a number and a variable multiplied together, the coefficient comes first. 3f means multiply. F of 3 does not mean multiply. So let's go down and look at a couple of quick examples. They're asking us to evaluate this equation right here. And you can think about it in your head as f of x is the same thing as y. Tell me what y is when x is -3. So f of -3 is going to be, we're going to plug in, every place we have an x, we're going to plug in a -3. So we're going to get -3 squared minus 1, positive 9 minus 1, or 8. So our ordered pair, because it says write your answer as an ordered pair, our ordered pair is going to be -3 was our input and 8 is our output. That's our answer. What about f of 0? Again, we go back to the same equation. I'm going to remind you what the equation is right here. And we're going to replace x with 0. So 0 squared minus 1, of course, is just minus 1. And written as an ordered pair, we get 0 minus 1. Okay, let's keep going. F of 2, we're going to replace x with 2. This is pretty straightforward. We get 3, and our ordered pair as an answer is that. This is a little bit different. For what value of x is f of x equal to 24? This is the output. Now they're not giving us the input. They're asking us for the input if the output is 24. So let's remind ourselves that f of x, our equation, is x squared minus 1. They're saying, when is this 24? When is that? What value of x makes that true? So now we have to solve. We're going to get x alone. And we ask ourselves, what number or numbers squared will be 25? And of course, our values for x are going to be positive 5 or negative 5. So if we were to write the ordered pairs, we would say 5, and the output is 24, or negative 5, and the output is still 24. All right, let's do one more example, a couple more on the top of the next page. Notice that now our equation is g of x, so it's not always f of x. They can really use any variable they want. So now we have an equation, g of x, our output is 3x minus 2. So again, we're going to do just like we did before. What is g of -1 when the input is -1? 3 times -1 minus 2, which is minus 3 minus 2, or -5. So the ordered pair looks just like it did before. -1 is the input and -5 is the output. It's asking us to write an ordered pair. Here's a fraction, no biggie. Go back to the original equation. Let me remind you that it's 3x minus 2 from right here. 3 times 2/3 minus 2. So 3 times 2/3 is, the 3's cancel, we get 2 minus 2, and we get 0. So the input, or the ordered pair, is the input, which is 2/3, the output, which is 0. Now we have something that's a little funky looking because they don't give us a number to plug in for our input. They give us a variable to plug in for the input, but you work it exactly the same way. So we take our original rule, our original equation, and replacing for x, we're going to put in a c. So g of c is nothing more than 3, replacing x with c, minus 2. So our ordered pair looks like this. The input is c, the output is 3c minus 2. And again, now they're asking us, hey, you tell me what the input is if I tell you what the output is. So we go back to the original equation. G of x is equal to 3x minus 2. They're saying, okay, I'm telling you that g of x is 16. You tell me what the x needs to be. So this is a simple two-step equation to solve. We get 3x is equal to 18, and of course x is equal to 6. So we can write our ordered pair. Our input is 6, that's the x, and they told us the output was 16 right there. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.